Hey everyone, it is Riley here, and today we're going to be talking about the JP report for the month of May, which also includes Golden Week for JP version. And this is going to be completely unscripted, raw, and unedited, so I apologize if I ramble and jumble to some parts. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the Golden Week portion of this event for May is going to be held, I think, for more than 7 days, actually. I could be wrong, but when I was looking at the calendar, it looked like it was a little longer than 7 days. But anyway, there's going to be 5 banners along with this event, all with their first multi-pull free, along with the featurette of all LD banners before April 26th to be on this banner. So you're probably just going to get a lot of dupes, unfortunately. But, you know, you may get that special LD that you never had before, who knows? Balthier is also going to receive his LD weapon. Aside from this banner, he's going to be on his own banner. Lightning is also going to receive her BT Plus because the Start Dash banner is going to be revamped, and she is also going to be the featurette for those 3, and she's getting her Burst Plus, which we will then talk about that a little later, and I also have a special guest joining us for that portion for the JP report. The Golden Week special co-op event, which will be held throughout this time, will also be giving away 20 free Ultima Nuggets, which you do have to do the co-op event for, so that's good enough for 1 ingot. So all good things coming from this event, so definitely get your farming in for that before the event is done. Alright, now we're going to be talking about the story arc for Arc 3, Chapter 5, where it's going to be the debut of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the Crystal Bearers villain, Jagran. I'm sure one of those two are correct. So with that being said, according to the Opie video and his mechanics, he does have a built-in Setzer ability with his own follow-up attacks or counterattacks, however you want to go about saying that. Either I'm sure would be correct. But he does have rainbow numbers, so that automatically means he's good in his own right. I've never played the game, so I don't have any type of feeling of, you know, kind of really anything for the Crystal Chronicles team. You know, I can't really say if I'm going for him at all. I mean, he looks okay aesthetic-wise, maybe. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I mean, it's great that Crystal Chronicles, of course, is getting more representation, but if you ask me, I wish Tactics was getting more representation, you know, like Mustadio, or Delita, or, you know, Orlando, you know, somebody from Tactics. But anyway, at least, you know, like I said, they're getting their villain. I was kind of interesting because I thought Alme Dantillion was the villainous-esque for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, so I guess that kind of shows us that she's not getting the burst. But anyway, that's that on Arc 3 Chapter 5, and he's also going to be the boss for Lufenia Plus, so look forward to that. Alright, and of course with the new story arc, we of course have the return of the World of Illusions support campaign. So from the 30th onwards, we are going to be having the synergy characters for Arc 3 Chapter 5. Will be synergy for World of Illusions, of course, as well as Divine World of Illusions Brothers only. So if you need to catch up with your board farming, if you need to catch up with Divine Brothers farming, now will be the time to do so, as all of the synergy characters for Arc 3 Chapter 5 Part 1 will of course be synergy for this event. Now we get to talk about something that I'm super excited about. Okay, as you can tell, my voice completely changed. So, this is the Missing Dungeon Shining Gold City, which is going to debut May 7th. Some quests will have missions that require characters of different colors to be used. The banner will feature its first 10 free multi-pull for free as part of the Golden Week campaign, okay? But that's not all, guys. That is not all. The king himself, Sazh, will be getting his LD on the Missing Dungeon. I cannot tell you how long I have waited for Sazh to get his LD. This is going to be a momentous day for Final Fantasy XIII, because that's not all, okay? And we'll get to it later in the report. But I can just see the buff master himself getting so much from his LD. I definitely better see more than Brunhilde's hands. If I see Brynhilder's hands come out only, I will literally go to Square Enix and riot. This better not be a Hecate Part 2. Alright, that's all I'm saying. I want full char mode action. Sazh, LD, do it. Let's go. Alright, and here it is. Okay, I'll be the first one to say that I literally do not like Snow in Final Fantasy XIII. He is completely hideous in Final Fantasy XIII too. However, in Lightning Returns, this man steals my heart every single time. I love Snow in Lightning Returns. His Seath outfit, his costume in that is amazing. And I love the fact that even Square Enix says that he is the villain in Lightning Returns. He is the true villain. Yes, you fight God and all of that, but he is the, the type of villain that you go up against before you battle God and, all that story arc. Anyway, I love the fact that he's getting a LD in the same month as Sazh. I think that is so cool. This whole month has just been 13. Lightning got her BT+, Sazh is getting his LD, and now we're getting Snow. So the only thing that would make this better is that the mid-month, burst that we're getting is hopefully going to be Serah, or maybe the end of the month burst is hopefully going to be Serah. That'll be just the cherry on top of the cake. But, we'll learn more about that as the time frame moves more towards the middle of the month. So basically going off the story chapter here is that Snow and his compass of light that he found during Terra's arc chapter is basically glowing and running towards something. So he's hoping that it's his lost companions, Hope, Reigns, and company. If you weren't aware of what's going on, basically everyone in 13 is low-key missing besides him, Fang, and I think Lightning. That's why in cutscenes you see Noel and Fang only sometimes, because they're actually not missing. Everyone else is unfortunately missing, so hopefully this intertwined will answer the question on where everybody is and hopefully bring everyone back together. But I want to bring up something here because Alfie has literally been bugging me about his costume, so I'm going to bring out something in this video now. Alfie, I will get you this costume, okay? If you do a 13 run in Lufenia Plus, okay? But you have to bring Lightning with her Burst Plus, Vanille, and you gotta bring Fang. You gotta bring the Girl Squad with you. If you bring the Girl Squad with you in any Lufenia Plus, can be an old, can be a new one, doesn't matter, but you gotta bring all 3 of the girls with you and completely curb stomp the Lufenia Plus, and I will gladly award you with Snow's costume if it's available during his Intertwined Wills, which if it's not, that'd be definitely a sad day for this game because his Seath costume is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing about this JP report, which is going to be a character event that honestly I didn't think we'd be getting for this month since we were getting Jagron. Everyone put your hands together for apparently Ursula. I honestly did not play Final Fantasy IV After Years, which is the game she is from. And this is actually going to be revealed during the OP 23, which will be out mid-May. So again, we'll actually know, of course, who this character is for sure, and we actually will know who the mid-month burst is for sure during that OP event. But as of right now, it is speculated to be Ursula from Final Fantasy IV The After Years. Or if you're feeling frisky, you can say it's Ursula from Kingdom Hearts. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the character adjustments for the whole month of May, and they are as following. Kuja is the first one from the 30th. Balthier is also on the 30th. The 7th of May is going to be Sazh. The 12th of May is going to be Fran, or Fran, however you want to pronounce that. The new BT character, which is going to be mid-month, which is going to be May 17th. Also, the rework for that new BT character on the 17th. Paine is also going to be getting a rework on the 17th, which you can also speculate that she will also be getting her LD. Snow, of course, also going to be getting a rework on the 21st of May, alongside his Intertwined Wills debut. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about something in the report that honestly, I don't really know how I feel about it. Is it good news? Absolutely, it's great news. It's just, I didn't think we'd be getting this now, but, you know, it's good to see that they're always making improvements and working on that in the background and then just kind of releasing it without really any kind of building towards it. It's just kind of, here it is, and it's always a nice thing that they do that for us. Alright, so the devs actually talked about something during this JP report that I actually want to bring to everyone's attention regards to Serah's LD, which I actually didn't think, I actually didn't think they would talk about this, but Serah's LD has honestly built up a lot of controversy, on both sides, on Global and JP, okay? Now, if you were aware of how she was before she got the rework, okay, she was not very good. Not very good. Okay, in her LD, when it came out on Global, she got a bit of a rework, and now she's very, very well-rounded. Okay, I wish she had a heal, but, you know, she's good. She's very good now. So this is what they had to say in regards to people in JP kind of waiting for that Serah LD rework. Said when Serah's LD was first released in JP, they received a lot of feedback, including from yours truly, to rework it. When Serah's LD is nearing release in Global, while the management team was on the rework, they decided to release it there first. So for the JP version, they were planning to make some more adjustments to it in addition to the Global rework to the next time Serah's LD is featured. So basically what they're saying is that in addition to the Global rework, what they got first, they're still making adjustments, and she's going to get even further rework and adjustments when she is then released again for the JP version of the game. Which I think is necessary because, of course, if that's all she was getting, it's still not necessarily enough for Lifunia Plus. Is it better? Absolutely, but it's still not enough. So that's what they said in regarding to Serah's LD. Alright, now we got all that out of the way, now we can talk about what we're actually seeing on the screen, which is the original Ultima weapons for Dissidia Opera Omnia. So, Awakening to level 90 will actually start making its appearance towards the end of the month of May, which will require a new type of crystal, where they'll be introducing the Ultima weapons for now. Ultima weapons are kind of weapons unique to DFFOO, and can be obtained through event exchanges rather than the gatcha system. So, that alone is already amazing, okay? To get the highest tier of weapon, which I'm assuming is the highest tier of weapon, outside Burst Plus, maybe it's even better than Burst Plus, we're not sure yet, is needed just by doing an event. You don't need any resources like gems and tickets to get this weapon. That's amazing. While there won't be any new abilities attached to them, they will, however, have high attack stats and will trigger special effects when equipped. So that alone is already amazing, okay? And as you can see here, they are actually made by type, so Greatsword, Unique, and Fist. I'm sure they will come more out as more are released, but these are the three subtypes that they gave us as of right now. Last but not least, on the JP report, we're going to be talking about the OP rewards, which of course is going to be the 6,000 gems, the 5 guard medals, the 20 tickets, and the 1 power orb. So make sure you log in between April 29th and May 6th to get those juicy sweet login bonuses the minute you log in. Okay, so I did have an amazing segment recorded here for all of you between me and Soul as we gossiped and talked about Lightning and Reverse Plus. Though this meme that ever grows between me and him is that when we ever get together and collab, anything that can go awry does, and the minute that I put his audio into my recording software, it literally gets corrupted and disappears. So I'm not sure if it's just because he's on a phone or what, but unfortunately I can't use the video anymore that we were on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my initial thoughts on her video, and I will also be incorporating everything that we talked about together, and then I will reach out to Soul and see if he wouldn't mind, through the kindness of his heart, put some of his thoughts in the comment section below. That way you can get his ideal thoughts on how he felt, more from him than my memory about the Burst Plus. But Alright, let's go ahead and watch the video and we'll get into that. So the best thing I always like about Lightning and her burst is that the music just is so beautifully depicted. Like, it's so majestically well done in the background, and she's just slicing and dicing enemies. It's amazing. Anyway, so it's still single target burst, which is completely fine. That's okay with me. And we have moon runes. Always love seeing that. Always reminds me that I'm playing JP. And we're activating the plus version of her Spark Strike, which does splash damage and deals the resistance down debuff to both targets now. The one thing that me and Sol both agree on is that her EX, whenever they rework those, she doesn't really need a lot of help in that department because her EX is always going to be a hard-hitting move, no matter really what. So that's always good. You see her LD, which is actually doing splash, which is amazing. Her plus version on Flourish of Steel, by the way, does ignore defense. Though I wish that was just on Flourish of Steel in general, not just the plus version. I know a lot of people are saying that they really wish that she had Splash on her final burst, but honestly I think this is fine. That's okay. Maybe they'll implement that one later. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about this. So, do I think this is a good burst plus? Yes. Do I think this is worthy for a newer player to invest in? No. And let me tell you why. When me and Sol were talking, he brought up a really good point, that you're not really going to get a lot of value in Lightning unless you understand how to use her. Now, unless you're just, pressing buttons with her willy-nilly, not really understanding how her kit works, you're not really going to get a lot of value out of her, okay? And I agree with that. Now, unless you're using her in Cosmos Co-op, then, by all means, click away, because we don't know what we're talking about. But if you're using her in high-end content, and especially things like soloing content, you're going to want to know how to use her and use her effectively. Her longevity now is amazing because her plus skills don't use up a skill. So that's even better. I just recently used her in the recent Lifinia Plus, and I was on her 8th skill, or her 8th skill. Basically, I never went down a skill the entire fight. So that just goes to show you how much her longevity is, if you use her properly, okay? Now, her rotation is very different now, if you use her within a party. If you use her within a soloing sort of platform, it's sort of the same, but also a little different, because, again, she is getting that free skill from her plus, okay? And you are kind of like in this mode where if you EX, she gets the free skill. So do you go to the free skill and just go again without going into your next stance? Or do you go into the next stance knowing you had a free skill anyway? So that's kind of like the debate now that you kind of have to go through as a player when you're doing more of soloing or duo content with Lightning. How are you going to get the most efficient way out of her now? Which I think is good. Now, her Burst Plus, I really wish they gave her a lot more. I really wish they gave her more of a party effectiveness when it came to just her Burst Plus, okay? 10 turns is a lot. Now, 10 turns for Lightning is not a lot of turns. She can burst through that by herself very quickly, okay? And she has Party Aura on the burst. So if you activate her Burst Plus and use it for more of a party-esque aura, and you just kind of pop off with Lightning without really realizing that you just did a Burst Plus with her, you're not really going to get a lot of efficiency out of that. And that's something that me and Sol also agreed on. So kind of increasing that by like 5 turns isn't really something that is too overpowered, we felt like. 15 turns, I think, is really good for a character like Lightning because it's going to give you some leeway to use it for the party, and it's also going to give you some leeway to use it for Lightning. So it's kind of just that perfect balance. It just felt like 10 turns still isn't really enough. Now, can you work with it? Absolutely. It's not really that big of a deal at the end of the day. Now, here's something that Sol brought up to our attention that he wanted to see in the Burst Plus, which is an Aura Imperial. And I actually thought that was a really good idea, because that takes away from her giving a debuff. And if she had that, I think that would have been really good. Because Lightning always is going to be wanting to hit weakness break damage. That's kind of her spiel, okay? And if something is immune to resist down, she can't really do that. Now, can she still hit big numbers? Yeah, sure. But she kind of misses that weakness brave damage that she wants. So if she had that Aura in peril with her Burst Plus, she has a way to still kind of muster through it and power on. So I think kind of giving Bart's kind of that challenge, like, oh, he's not the only one with the Aura in peril now, would have been really good. Now, I kind of wish on my end that she had kind of like a breaking bonus with her Burst Plus like Caius did. Now, does Caius break more than Lightning does? Absolutely. But you can break essentially with Lightning quite a lot to utilize the break bonus, especially when you're soloing content. So I think something like that would have been really good for her. And I also think that a weakness brave damage increase from her Burst Plus aura would have been something that would have been effective for her as well. All she got really was just HP damage up, brave damage up, and she got her cap raised on her finisher mode. So I understand it. The devs can't really give Lightning too much because they know if they give a character like Lightning too much, she's just gonna be wiping the floor, honestly, with these Lufinia pluses, and they don't really want that, of course. They want you to pool. They want you to go for the characters that they bring out. And it's understandable. I understand it. I just wish that she did get a little bit more, that's all. So, do I recommend her for newer characters? Unfortunately, no. If she's your favorite, absolutely go for it. I Burst Plussed her. I know Sol is obviously going to be Burst Plussing her, but that's how I kind of feel about that. And again, from the kindness of Sol's heart, I hope he leaves his thoughts for you all to read and get his kind of take on it in the comment section below. I do apologize for the corruption to his audio and for the meme that whenever we collab that just things just go awry, and I just wish I had more of the brain power to fix these things, but unfortunately I'm still learning all the ropes here. But with that being said, guys, this is the end for the JP report, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.